It's Wednesday, July 31. In the headlines, it's Human Trafficking Awareness Week, and all roads lead to Seville in St. Anne as Jamaica celebrates Emancipation Jubilee. Regionally, CARICOM heads brainstorm new ways to receive assistance for impact of climate change. And in sports, sprint star Sharika Jackson out of the 100 meters at the Olympic Games. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. One love to the world. That is the theme for this year's celebration of Jamaica's 62nd year of independence and 186th anniversary of the abolition of slavery. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport has partnered with Red Cross to collect special offerings for victims of Hurricane Beryl at the Jamaica 62nd Emancipation and Independence activities. Speaking at the official church service this week, Portfolio Minister Olivia Grange said the activities will begin in St. Anne.
On July 31, we will host one of our favorite events, the Emancipation Jubilee. And this is held at Seville Heritage Park in St. Anne, where all four cultures meet: the Taino, the African, the British, and the Spanish. And the event commemorates the abolition of slavery. And we will bring talent from all over the island, including traditional performers, highlighting the very essence of our culture.
Minister Grange says a notable feature of this year's Seville celebration will be apologies from descendants of former slave owners.
Some will be journeying to Jamaica, and some will be sending recorded apologies.
She says due to the effects of Hurricane Beryl, the planned activities have been curtailed.
Independence Village will be open from August 3 to 5 at the National Indoor Sports Complex. And of course, our Grand Gala will be held on August 6 at the National Stadium. At this time, I have the stadium's capacity is a little under 35,000. And to this point, I have requests for 40,000 tickets. The Grand Gala will feature a spectacular drone show with 700 drones creating stunning visuals in the sky. The women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force will also perform a special display to celebrate the 75th anniversary of women being admitted into the force.
Human trafficking is called modern-day slavery, and Jamaica has a national task force against trafficking in persons. Between July 28 and August 3, the agency will be working to bring awareness to the issue. Coordinator of the NAFTIP, Audrey Budai, told Jamaica Information Service think tank that a series of activities have been planned for the week. Ms. Budai says the theme for World Day Against Trafficking in Persons this year was Leave No Child Behind in the fight against human trafficking. It was commemorated on July 30. She says activities for the week will include sensitization sessions at the airports in Kingston and Montego Bay to educate people about trafficking in persons. A youth symposium was held at the University of Technology Jamaica on July 30 to highlight the importance of the issue. To close out the week, Ms. Budai indicated that the Child Protection and Family Services Agency will be showing films close to the subject matter in some of the children's homes to spread awareness. The Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard commissioned its 6th ship into its offshore fleet this week. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the government has significantly increased support of the Jamaica Defense Force over the last 9 years And the arrival of HMJS Marcus Garvey ship is the latest investment. He says the government has recognized the importance of increasing support to the JDF.
We have also procured aircrafts, patrol vessels, armored vehicles, radar systems, and cyber forensic labs, and enhanced digital surveillance capabilities, as well as expanded the fleet of vehicles of the JDF.
According to the Prime Minister, these investments represent the government's commitment to enhancing Jamaica's peace and productivity.
A state that neglects its institutions risks not only its physical security, but also the very foundation of a living and vibrant democracy. Robust institutions are the pillars upon which a stable, prosperous society is built. They ensure the rule of law, protection of our citizens, and provide essential services that contribute to well-being.
Brigadier E. Clark explains how the vessel will safeguard the country's water territory.
By providing a robust defense against illegal activities such as smuggling and unregulated fishing. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, the new vessel improves our search and rescue operations and ensures quicker and more effective responses in times of emergency.
The JDF Chief of Defense Staff, Vice Admiral Antoinette Wemyss Gorman, notes that the vessel symbolizes the country being guided by Marcus Garvey's legacy.
As one of our national heroes, Marcus Garvey's legacy of empowerment, unity, and resilience continues to inspire generations globally. His vision of self-reliance and his tireless efforts towards the upliftment of the African diaspora left an indelible mark on history. It is fitting then that this ship, which will serve to protect and safeguard our nation's waters, bears the name of a man who dedicated his life to the upliftment of his people.
The Jamaican government has received over $360,000 in humanitarian aid from the United States Agency for International Development to support communities affected by Hurricane Beryl. The assistance provided on Tuesday is part of USAID's efforts to repair homes, improve water sanitation, and supply essential relief items to those in need. Here's more from Danita Rodney.
At the official handover ceremony on Tuesday, U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica Nicholas Perry announced that this humanitarian support is the first installment of a $2.5 million fund initially committed by the USAID.
Today's contribution of over $360,000 in supplies is part of a larger $2.5 million hurricane support and assistance from the United States. From our International Development Bureau for Human Assistance, the USAID BHA. This handover ceremony underscores our unwavering commitment to stand with Jamaica in times of need.
Ambassador Perry says the supply aims to assist with the immediate needs of affected Jamaicans.
The supplies being handed over today will play an important role in meeting the immediate needs of as many of those affected as we can by providing much-needed assistance and aid. The United States government stands in solidarity with Jamaica, not just in times of disaster, but as enduring friends and partners in resilience and recovery.
For his part, Prime Minister Andrew Holness expressed gratitude to USAID for the humanitarian support.
Because of that fraternal and almost familial relationship with our friends in the United States. There is always that kind of support that is available to Jamaica. We do not take it for granted, and we are always very appreciative.
The assistance responds directly to a request from the government via the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, ODPEM.
Jamaica's $555.9 million forensic pathology autopsy suite will be completed soon. That's the word from Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang. He told the press this week, quote, "It's almost done. It's just the equipment we are putting in now. The building itself is practically finished. We are installing the freezers and the other equipment as we speak," end quote. He says the opening for the state-of-the-art facility, which will be located at 149 Orange Street in downtown Kingston, will take place this year. He did not give a specific date. A local forensic pathology autopsy suite would save the government millions of dollars. Presently, the government outsources the services to privately operated funeral homes, which between 2017 and 2021 cost the government $482 million for the storage of bodies. Time now for the business report. In the business report, Sagicor Real Estate X Fund Limited for the 6 months ended June 30, 2024 reports a 29% decrease in 6 months net profit. Net capital losses on financial assets and liabilities amounted to $47.79 million compared to 2023, where there were gains of $96.71 million. This represents a decrease of 149% year over year. Consequently, hotel revenue increased by 4% to $4.13 billion compared to $3.99 billion for the 6 months ended June 30, 2023. Net profit for the 6 months ended June 30, 2024 had a 29% decrease to reach $298.45 million compared to 2023, where net profit was $420.55 million. Proven Properties announced a joint venture partnership with Caribbean Consultants Limited. This partnership includes the acquisition of 50% of the shares in the company that owns One Barbados Place, a 5-story commercial office building in Warren's, St. Michael, Barbados, with the other 50% being owned by CCL. One Barbados Place is a 5-story, 48,000 square foot commercial office building situated on a 1.15-acre lot. The building, which boasts solar power generation capabilities on both the building and carport roofs, is fully tenanted by Republic Bank Barbados on the ground floor and the Government of Barbados' Ministry of Tourism and Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc. on the upper floors. These tenants will remain post-acquisition. Commercial real estate is an investment opportunity that is under the radar for persons seeking to grow their portfolio. Denise Williams spoke to Jeffrey Hall, CEO of Pandam Group, one of the largest holders of commercial properties in Jamaica, to learn more.
We are here with Mr. Jeffrey Hall, who stands at the center of the amalgamation of several companies within the Jamaica Producers Group and the Pan-Jamaican Group into one holistic company. And so we thought he would be the perfect person to give us an idea of what's happening in the commercial real estate sector. So Jeffrey, your amalgamated company has properties in New Kingston, Manor Park, and downtown Kingston, to name a few. So for the next 3 to 5 years, what's your outlook for commercial real estate in Jamaica?
So commercial real estate depends on a number of factors. A significant factor is the cost of capital or the interest rate.
Yes.
That's in effect the cost of goods sold within the real estate business. Our expectation for interest rates is that they're likely to modulate, which means come down gently relative to the current levels, and that will see some additional supply being on the market. Looking backward, pre-COVID, when interest rates were relatively low, there was quite a bit of supply that was initiated, and that too will come on the market because that's already volume in construction. So for us, we take the view that what matters now is the quality of the real estate, its use, and its geography. And so we are very strategic in that regard. From a quality perspective, we think the best real estate, and we think a very good portfolio, will have amenities like parking associated with it. It will associate itself with the right understanding of likely traffic flows in the future. We think the right real estate will be energy efficient, and we're making investments in our real estate, both in New Kingston and downtown, to change the energy dynamics of the buildings. We think the right real estate will have a combination of places to work, as in commercial real estate, but it'll be associated with places to stay because of the congestion in the city. And so we're very pleased that not only do we have office buildings, like for example, the Scotia Centre downtown, but we've invested in adjacent business hotels.
Yes.
Like the Rock Hotel, which is downtown as well.
Yes.
In New Kingston, which is a very important part of our business, where you'll see the Jamaica building, our investment in the CIBC headquarters, our investment in other corporate buildings. You'll note that we've also invested in the Courtyard by Marriott, which is adjacent.
Yes.
So taking account of the quality of the real estate is hugely important for us as well. And then obviously people's ability to shop or to engage with food service matters. And so you'll see throughout our real estate that combination.
Yes.
And you'll see, for example, in Manor Park, you have a very strong mix of not only retail, but the leading food service brands in the country as well. So for us looking forward, we think there will be supply, it will be competitive, but we think that the winners will be those that pay attention to the details. It's no longer just about throwing up a building in Jamaica. It's about having a building that's well maintained, that's well positioned, that has the right amenities associated with it. And that's where we think we'll continue to do well.
Time now for a look at the financial market updates.
During trading for the period of July 30, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The following companies represent the overall volume leaders. Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial with 4,679,360 units representing 21.26% of the market value in terms of sales of equities. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 2,607,229 units representing 11.85% of market value in terms of sales of equities. Deramon Trading Company Limited with 2,049,441 units representing 9.31% of market value in terms of sales of equities. Over on the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, trading on July 30, 2024, registered a volume of 620,157 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at $2,778,366 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 37 cents. Massey Holdings Limited was the volume leader with 561,549 shares, changing hands for a value of $2,010,868 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 78 cents, followed by the West Indian Tobacco Company Limited with a volume of 28,345 shares, being traded for 227,852 Trinidad and Tobago dollars and 70 cents. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the regional stock market, we turn to the Forex market. On July 30, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $53.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $59.5 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $157.42 and bought the US dollar for $155.61. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.81, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of $3.05 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold for $115.71 and bought for $112.66. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.28, selling it for $201.72 and buying it for $195.44.
In regional news, regional leaders convened in Grenada from July 28 to July 30 for the 47th regular meeting of CARICOM to address critical issues facing the bloc. The discussions focused on the urgent need to implement the Loss and Damage Fund, revise the regional insurance scheme, and secure adequate financing for rebuilding efforts. Here are some key highlights from that meeting.
Secretary General of CARICOM, Carla Barnett, commended member states for their role in solidifying integration, particularly in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. Barnett delivered the opening remarks of the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Governments of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM.
This was especially evident most recently following Hurricane Beryl, where the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency provided critical support to our assessment and relief efforts. We have taken notable steps towards realizing some of the main tenets of the Grenada's Declaration signed on this soil in July 1998. The free movement of nationals in the community, the provision of a reliable and cost-effective regional transportation system, establishment of the CARICOM single market and economy, economic and political cooperation and common market instruments. As our countries reinforce resilience and growth, it is critical that this 47th regular meeting advances these and other discussions and decisions intrinsic to the objectives of CARICOM integration.
Outgoing CARICOM Chairman, President of Guyana, Dr. Mohamed Ifan Ali, called on member states to also highlight the region's achievements, not just its failures.
We do not celebrate who we are, and we do not get the glamorous headlines across the world for the contributions we are making as a region and the difference we are making as a region. And we do not seek after those glamorous headlines. But I think if we do not correct the narrative that is sometimes used to define us, and a narrative that is used to set us in a certain frame, we'll be doing a continuous injustice to those before us, those who are with us, and those who will come in the future.
Prime Minister of Grenada and newly elected Chair Dickon Mitchell emphasized the effectiveness and relevance of CARICOM.
CARICOM is the longest surviving, and survival is not an appropriate adjective. It is the longest thriving integration movement in the developing world. We are talking South and Latin America, we are talking Africa, we are talking Asia. There is no other like CARICOM. And so when we talk about persons wanting to become associate members. We're not just talking about from within the region. There have been inquiries from countries far and wide as to whether there is the opportunity to have a relationship with CARICOM. And why is that? It is because the external world knows and recognizes the value of CARICOM.
Some of the other issues down for discussion affecting the bloc include climate change, border security, and food and nutrition. A significant highlight of the ceremony was the admission of Curacao as the 6th associate member of CARICOM. Additionally, former CARICOM Secretary General Roderick Rainford and former West Indies cricket captain Sir Clive Lloyd were honored with the region's highest award, the Order of the Caribbean Community.
CARICOM leaders are exploring various initiatives to seek international assistance in addressing the impacts of climate change. One proposal involves a Marshall Plan-like approach, similar to the reconstruction efforts in Europe after the World Wars. A letter has been sent to the United Kingdom government requesting financial assistance following the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl. Here's more in this report.
The letter calls for immediate debt cancellation provided through a pre-arranged mechanism that is triggered automatically in the event of a qualifying disaster. It was signed by the leaders of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Grenada. The leaders warned that the Caribbean countries cannot sustain the rise in debt through climate disasters. The British High Commissioner to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Scott Fusserdom-Wood, said he is not in a position to comment on the letter sent by the 3 Caribbean countries.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
But you would have heard about the Marshall Plan they're asking for the United Kingdom to look at. Although you haven't seen it, but if not, is that a good idea from the Caribbean?
Well, we've got a new government in the United Kingdom. They've only been in office now for just a month. I haven't yet had an opportunity to talk to the Foreign Secretary about these things, but I'm hoping to over the next week. So I'm sure we'll be very interested to read the letter and to see what might be possible. But for now, that's all I can say, I think.
But Dominica's Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerritt, says he supports in principle the idea behind the initiative.
Well, this has always been on the cards. I mean, clearly the Caribbean needs urgent assistance. I mean, you've seen what happened with the hurricane. Beryl, an impact, and a few years ago Dominica and Barbuda and many of the other islands affected. I mean, now you have Jamaica, you have St. Vincent and Grenadines and Grenada dramatically affected, and of course Barbados affected by these hurricanes. I mean, clearly the Caribbean needs access to this climate financing and they need it now. And one cannot go through this bureaucratic, prolonged processes of accessing those funds. There has to be a clearer economic and financial offering to the Caribbean. I mean, similar to what was offered to Europe, and allow Europe to rebound from its many man-made disasters.
The letter was sent to the British government as the Caribbean countries sought assistance in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, which passed through the Caribbean at the start of July. The cyclone resulted in several deaths and hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. On the first full day of the summit, the CARICOM leaders discussed issues related to climate change, specifically the impact of Hurricane Beryl. The discussion also included the urgent requirement for the operation of the Loss and Damage Fund, changes to the regional insurance scheme, and access to appropriate financing to rebuild.
In sports, we begin on the Olympic tracks. Jamaican sprint star Sharika Jackson will not compete in the 100 meters race at the Olympic Games in Paris. Jamaica's track officials have confirmed that Jackson will be replaced by Sashali Forbes in the event, which is set to begin on Friday. The 200-meter champion's status was in question after she pulled up during a meet in Hungary earlier this month. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. Pleasant viewing.